And so if you know me, like, you've heard me say multiple times how I'm like one of those people who has historically struggled to forgive. Like, I know in the Bible, I think it was Peter asked Jesus, how many times should I forgive? And Jesus said 70 times 7. And so I'm like, okay, 490. So like, I can keep a spreadsheet, and once I get to 491, I can be like, God, get that person. Like, God, get him, right? You know how like Elijah in the Bible was like, rain down the fire of God. And like some of the disciples were like, should we call on the fire of God of Elijah to rain down on these people, Jesus? And so Jesus was like, no, wait a second. We're not doing that. We're forgiving people. And they were like, oh, okay. And so that's like a message that I feel like the Lord has been placing in my spirit personally for me. Like, Aisha, you have to let it go. Aisha, you have to learn how to forgive. Like, you have to be able to move forward. And there's scriptures in the Bible where Jesus is literally saying, like, if you're at the temple and you're taking your gifts to present an offering before the Lord, and you remember that you need to forgive, or you need to forgive someone, or someone needs to forgive you, you need to leave your offering at the altar and go seek that forgiveness, right? And so the Lord has really been talking to me about forgiving people in my own life, because I tend to hold on to grudges and anger towards people. And sometimes I don't even realize it. But like when that person's name comes up, or I think about that person, all of a sudden I get angry and things change. And so that lets me know that there's unforgiveness there. And so after interviewing, Dion about the power of forgiveness a little bit ago, I remember being so convicted in my spirit when she talked about her ability to forgive, her ability to let go of the anger that she had towards her ex, like her ability to be able to move on and find joy and happiness, and just to be able to just like, if you're not in a Single Mom Faith Summit, like literally I encourage you to make sure you sign up, get your ticket to the replay, so that way you can listen to her story, because I'm literally not doing it justice. But what I wanted to say in there is that her story of forgiveness convicted my spirit so much. And I remember since the time we recorded the interview, I had literally been on my knees over the course of those couple of weeks about 5 different times, literally crying out to the Lord, saying, Lord, help me forgive. Help me forgive. I don't want to be angry anymore. The people who hurt me in the past, I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to hold resentment in my heart anymore. I don't want to, feel a certain type of way about these people anymore. I don't want the grudges anymore. The burden is too heavy, Lord. I don't want to carry this anymore. I'm not holding them responsible by holding on to unforgiveness. This is hurting me and it's too heavy, Lord. Take the burden from me. And so it's like, I remember I did some forgiveness work. I'm like, I forgive you and I release you to your highest good, right? And I thought, all right, first time, I'm good, got it over with, just forgave that person. But then, and then other people who I needed to forgive. But then it's like the feelings would come back and I'm like, okay, I forgive you and I release you to your highest good, right? And I'm like, all right, I already done that forgiveness work again, all good, ready to go, I'm all forgiven. But then it's just like the Lord kept saying, like, seek me, seek my face. And so literally I realized that the anger that I held on to certain people, because there were multiple people, the anger that I held on to those people, I realized that in my own strength, I could not forgive them. Not in my own strength. I was too mad. Still, years. So for some people, like a decade ago, right? Still mad about how I was treated at my job with workplace bullying. I talk about it all the time. But I was still mad. And sometimes as I would retell the story to tell a point about how God can use even the bad and turn it around to your good, because that's what he did with workplace bullying. Even though I would tell the story about workplace bullying, I would still feel that anger rise up in my heart as if it just happened. And I dealt with workplace bullying over the course of 2.5 years, and it ended in 2014. But I was still angry at how I was treated. I was so angry with being teased at age 12. I'm a grown woman now. I was angry still about being teased for wearing non-name brand clothes. It still hurt me. Sometimes I still cried over it. But I said, you know what? Lord, take this burden from me. I don't want to carry it anymore. I just want freedom. I just want to be free. Help me to let it go. Because in my own strength, the emotions are too raw. Even though it's a long time ago, right? The emotions are still too raw. And I'm still angry. But you tell me in your word to cast your cares and burdens on you, because your yoke is easy and you give us rest. So Lord, give me rest from this burden, because it's just not mine to carry anymore. It's not. Because it's not helping me. It's hurting me. It's having me focus in a rearview mirror. I'm pointing at my rearview mirror. And I'm trying to look forward out the front window. I can no longer live my life in a way where I'm a slave to my past, a slave to anger, a slave to resentment. I can't live like this anymore, Lord. Take this from me. And so I was literally talking to Dion Nichols, who was a speaker in the Power of Forgiveness interview for the Single My Faith Summit. And I told her, I said, you don't know how powerful that talk was for me, because it helped me to finally let it go. I laid it at the feet of Jesus where it belongs over multiple days, crying, petitioning, praying to the Lord, asking him to take those burdens. And then finally, he gave me rest. And that feeling that I felt was liberating. And I realized that, I think it was Colin Powell who said, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And that's really what unforgiveness is. You're holding on to poison. You're consuming poison, but you think that that poison that you're consuming is going to hurt someone else, and that person has already moved on with their life. Or they don't even know that they hurt you. And so forgiveness is key. And I'm a walking testimonial about what it was like to be in a space of unforgiveness. But I'm telling you this so you can know that it's possible. Because I used to be a person who prided myself on unforgiveness. I would be like, God forgives, but I don't, right? That was my attitude. That was my attitude. And I would still, like, it was so funny. Like, I would be a grown woman talking about how I'm still mad at somebody for something that she did in the 6th grade. I'm like, And I think one day I actually might have saw her in real life, and I might have rolled my eyes. It was like weird. And I remember seeing somebody from high school that I didn't like in high school because she was shady. Okay, let me stop with unforgiveness. But I remember seeing her in real life as a grown woman with kids. And I was like, I ain't talking to her. Like, but for why? Why? And it's just like, this is why it was so powerful that I interviewed Dion, and that the Lord really convicted my spirit about why it was time to let it go. Because I wasn't hurting those people. I was not proving a point. I was not holding these people accountable. All I was doing was hurting my ability to move forward in the purpose and plan and peace that God has for me. So resentment has no place in your heart. Unforgiveness has no place in your heart. Unforgiveness, resentment, anger, those are bondages. Those are shackles of the enemy designed to keep you stuck and to cloud your hearing so you cannot hear the word of the Lord and for what he has for you. It's designed to keep you stuck and have you believing that what God has for you is not possible for you, or it's too late for you, or you've been too hurt, or you're carrying too much shame, or because so-and-so says something to you, and so now you taking that as gospel truth instead of the gospel that we have in the Bible, that Jesus says that you can do all things through Christ. That strength, well, Paul says it, because he said, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. We have the strength of the Lord, right? And so when we're holding on to unforgiveness, it's like literally you're crippling yourself. You're crippling yourself. It's like willingly giving yourself a gimp or a hurt back so you can't walk straight. Because that's what it's doing. It's harming your walk. It's harming your witness. It's not worth it. Why walk with crutches and a cane when you can walk in your full authority of God without all that stuff? It just doesn't make any sense. Yes, you have to let go so we can grow. Absolutely. And so I'm here to tell you, like, if you are someone who is struggling with unforgiveness, honestly, at this point, like, I don't even care if you're not a single mom, right? You need to sign up for the Single Mom Faith Summit just so you can hear that interview with Dion. Because if it set me free, someone who was set against forgiveness and unforgiveness and I was set against forgiveness, chose unforgiveness and held on to that as if it was a badge of honor. If it could set me free, then it can set you free as well. And so, yes, I encourage you to go to the Single Mom Faith Summit. I'll put the details below this video. And so that way you can go in, get your replay pass because the event happened yesterday. Get that all access pass so you can listen to the replay, because I'm telling you right now that interview will change your life. It will change your whole perspective, because you literally cannot walk in purpose holding on to unforgiveness. It is impossible. Too much space in your heart is just being taken up. And when too much space in your heart is taken up, you don't have room to receive what God is trying to pour into you. You really don't. And you don't realize it, but you're serving others from empty instead of full, because there's too much crowding out of the goodness that God has for you. So make sure you let it go, because if it can set me free, I'm telling you, it can set you free as well. So make sure you get your all access replay class so you can listen to that interview topic. Literally all of the topics are amazing. All of them are amazing. And I've been receiving such amazing feedback from them. So you won't regret joining. So definitely. So so make sure you join us over in the Single Mom Faith Summit. It's actually going to start at 10 a.m. Eastern time today. So I will see you soon. Let me know how this video has blessed you. Give me some hearts, show me some love. Let me know some comments about how this video and this message has blessed you today. Have a good one. Bye.